Okay, we are live on the pre-show.
Awesome.
Yes, boy, this is going to be a fun one tonight, man.
I'm so excited, Yankee.
This is,
And
this is
yeah.
cool. This is going to be really, really fun. All right, we got people. This is our way of getting people to notice that we are going live. A lot of people get notified when the actual live stream starts, and we want to make sure people filter in before we get going so they don't miss any of the wonderful spot parts in the beginning here. So 5 minutes before, we got 4 minutes left here.
Real quick, Yankee, since we're just pre-showing it up, hanging out, we're chilling.
Chilling.
What's your personal thought on Fort Knox? Is all the gold there?
Well, my personal thought is
Personal.
all right. It's been a gift to us YouTubers. You've been killing it on your channel, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my word. You're like the hot news, breaking news dude on this whole thing. If you haven't checked out, if people are watching right now have not checked out your videos, well, probably they have, but you got to check them out. They're great. What do I think?
What do you think? Thank you, by the way.
I think they are going to go in, but it's not going to be what you and I both want. They're not going to say much, or if any.
Oh,
They're not
it's
going
gonna
to
be
check
like
the
for
paperwork.
show.
It's going to be a show on it,
Oh,
not a real
no.
life. That's my gut feeling. I really think they won't determine who owns what. They're not going to see if it's been lent out. They're just going to walk
Right.
around and,
Probably going to one vault.
I had fun doing. I had fun doing some AI of the audit with Elon and Trump under gold bars. I'm gonna post it whenever it happens, or right before it happens. I'm gonna post it. It's so funny. That's my gut feelings. What do you think?
I think you're probably right. I think they're not certainly not gonna have like a third party do an audit. It'll be their own internal audit, and it will probably be for show. And I think we'll probably never actually know. We'll probably never get all the answers. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes down, and also how soon. Like, are we gonna have to wait a few months for this, or what?
You
Or
know,
years?
I'm curious how long we're gonna have to wait for the stupid Epstein files to be released. I don't know,
Oh
man. It
man.
takes forever for this stuff to come out. I mean, it's easy to say we're gonna do it, and then to actually do it. When are they gonna go in there, and when are they gonna audit the Fed?
I know. Elon said he would be willing to audit the Fed, so
I know that will be exciting. This has been exciting for us stackers to watch what's going on. Gold and silver prices, we're going up today. Not so much.
little dip action.
Little dip action, yes.
Great time to buy.
Curious. Maybe I'll throw a poll up later on as to what people are doing with their silver, buying, selling, holding, what.
Hopefully buying. I mean, I think it's healthy, to kind of get these corrections. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. But if you compare gold to Bitcoin, which went down what, like, I don't know, 7, 8, 10,000. I don't even know.
Right? Yep.
Last couple of days, it's like, gold is doing pretty good.
No complaints. Yeah. To me, you got to think long term, anyways. Anybody just getting out and getting started in their stacking journey really has to have the right mindset when it comes to silver and gold, especially silver. It's not a short term get rich quick thing. You got to really be patient with it.
Yeah. Hopefully hold it at least 10 years.
Absolutely. Well, we got less than a minute. Less than a minute. Oh, this is good. I'm still arranging some of the silver and I did put a little gold out today. I know it's SilverPros, but just in honor of our guest, I decided I'll throw some of that on there too. But
yeah, you can show a little bit of gold.
A little
it's not
bit,
the end of the world.
But we will be talking about silver a lot tonight and show and tell. Boy, I'll tell you, this is always an honor when we have guests on, isn't it?
It is. Yes, I love having guests on. It takes a little bit of the pressure off you and me.
Just a bit.
Yeah, it's like a vacation.
Know.
It's great.
I don't know. I feel a little pressure when bigwigs like this show up on our SilverPros. I mean, it's like, wow, we got to have our aim game going.
Well, and hopefully we can have Cole weigh in on the commander, because I know everyone wanted to know what's going on with that.
That's right. So I hope Cole is ready for that. All right.
He'll give us some info, hopefully tonight, I'm thinking.
Yep.
Because I know everyone in the chat's going to ask.
All right, let's go live, buddy.
Do it.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Season 7, Episode 3 of SilverPros. And with me tonight, as always, is my fellow SilverPro and good friend, Silver Dragons.
Hey, Yankee. Happy to be here. Excited for tonight.
Me too. And for those of you maybe new to SilverPros, we're a bi-weekly podcast airing on both my channel and the rapidly growing Silver Dragons channel. Dude, you're killing it.
Thanks.
You really are. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well as mine. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future Silver Pro episodes. So, you know, you don't want to miss these. These are fun. Lots of fun. And we do Q&A at the end, so you're not going to want to miss that either.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we do a giveaway. Are we going to show that off or wait? Maybe wait on
Ooh.
showing it.
I think we should wait on the giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too special.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, though. Actually, in fact, on the thumbnail, I did put a giveaway, but there's a twist here to that giveaway.
You'll have to wait and
it's even
see.
better.
You'll have to wait.
Right. So we have a great episode, Dragons, right? Who do we have
Absolutely. And we're so excited to be bringing in Andrew Dickey. He's back with us. He is the Division Director of Precious Metals for the Royal Mint. So,
wow.
Welcome.
Do you know
Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for having me back.
Hold on one second. Did you know that it's one of the oldest continually running mints in the world?
My gosh.
Yep.
I believe it.
It is.
And I will bring you in both at the same time. The other guest, thank you so much, is Cole Keller, the Chief Operating Officer of SD Bullion. He's joining us as well. So we have Andrew and Cole. Bring them up on the screen
All
now.
right,
Welcome,
buddy.
gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, good evening. Hi, gents.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, great to be back. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us in the middle of the night, Andrew.
Yeah. Just how
You're very
late
welcome. Absolute pleasure to be here.
How late is it, Andrew?
It's 2 a.m. currently, but it's all good. It's all good for something like this. It's fantastic.
Dedication. I love that. Cole, could you move to your right just a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So let's discuss a really amazing coin that you are launching. In fact, maybe I should just show it to people right now. What do you think? Is it
Yeah.
a good
bring it up.
idea? Let me bring it up, guys. This is the 2024 version of the Britannia and Liberty coin. It's absolutely gorgeous, but you are now selling the 2025 version of this, aren't you?
Yeah, that's correct.
That is amazing. It's a beautiful coin. Can you maybe discuss this design with
Yeah, so this is a really rare but very special collaboration between the US Mint and the Royal Mint. We've got a great relationship with the US Mint, but we haven't often collaborated on coin designs. And this is a fantastic partnership between the chief engraver of the Royal Mint, Gordon Summers, and the chief engraver of the US Mint, Joseph Menner, who came together and they've effectively created a physical representation of the symbolic kind of special relationship between our two countries. So on one side, you've got the Britannia, the sort of symbol of the United Kingdom. And then on the other, you've got Liberty herself. And it is really a stunning coin.
It's fun to be able to flip it over like that and see two different profiles. It's really beautiful. Love the design. Who were the two designers again?
So that's Gordon Summers, the chief engraver of the Royal Mint,
Oh, okay.
and Joseph Menner, the chief engraver of the US Mint.
If you look really carefully, I
And-
think you can see their initials on there, right?
Yeah, they snuck the
That's it.
initials in there.
Very tiny. I don't know if I can zoom in that tight, but yeah, this is something else. So
Yeah, I love the
yeah.
stars. I love the trident and the fire too. Oh my gosh. It's a very powerful design, and it's great that you guys are continuing it for 2025. So it must have been very popular, I'm assuming.
Yeah, let me
it
speak for
absolutely
Andrew
was.
a little bit on that one. Whenever they started to bring the concept in 2024 to some of their authorized purchasers in the market, everyone was really, really excited and more than impressed. And that's before we had even seen it. And then once we saw the design mock-ups, it was pretty jarring. You're like, okay, this is literally going to be probably one of the coins of the decade, because it's very rare to have a connection with a U.S. coin. It's almost unheard of from another sovereign mint. And so the question is, how well can the people execute it? Can there be some other coins that complement it, right? And so the execution's been at a really high level. from a design perspective. It's really awesome to see effectively the matriarchs of the two sovereign nations and the two mints complemented so evenly on a design. And it sounds easy, and you would think it might be easy whenever you're just sitting on your couch and thinking, oh, we could do it. It's pretty difficult to execute at a really high level on a design on what effectively is a relatively small footprint on a 1 ounce silver coin or a 1 ounce gold coin. So hats off to them. And it was a huge success last year. I think it sold out from the mint within like a week or less.
Yeah, it was a complete sellout, which is one of the reasons why we were so excited to bring it back and work with SD Bullion on this exclusive program. It's a hugely exciting moment for both the Royal Mint and the US Mint.
Very nice. I want to show the design here. I'm going to just put that up on the screen. This is sort of like the artist rendition of
Wow.
what that coin was destined to become. That's really a beautiful design. Some incredible artistic ability there.
Both engravers have got a fantastic pedigree. Gordon Summers was behind the visual security features. He was the one that brought those in on the iconic Bullion Britannia coin for the Royal Mint.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joseph Menner, countless incredible creations for the US Mint. But America the Beautiful is probably one of his kind of most famous creations for the US Mint. Just a beautiful range of dollar coins for the US Mint.
So to highlight that, Andrew, the designer or sculptor of the ATB series, the America Beautiful series, probably the US Mint's most successful non-standard every year bullion range, participated in this program?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. A really rare collaboration, but they worked so brilliantly and effectively together. It was quite an honor to see two kind of creative geniuses coming together in such a collaborative way. And as you can see, the finished product is just beyond all expectations.
So I'm showing
Was
both.
there any competing for maybe I get 65% of the design and you get 35% because it was my team's idea?
Do you know what, as creative people go, I think it was a very, very even-handed, very collaborative session. I'm sure there was a little bit of internal kind of creative rivalry there, but they whatever relationship existed there between them, it's produced a fantastic looking coin.
Yeah, and can we talk about the 2025 specifically? So, Andrew, what is the mintage going to be?
Yeah, so as this is obviously the second year, we wanted to really keep this as incredibly special as the first year was back in 2024. So we're doing 50,000 of the gold, 50,000 of the silver 1 ounce coins, and then 5,000 of the gold 1 ounce coins.
Mm. Yeah, let me show the gold again. I know this is SilverPros, but I have to admit they're both beautiful. Isn't that nice? Like you can see that really close up. Very cool.
Yeah, and so for some context on the mintage, last year I think the Royal Mint struck just right at or just over 250,000 silver and 10,000 gold. This is on 1 ounce pieces, and that's a little bit of an anomaly. That's a pretty high number, but it showed their confidence in the dual execution and the collaboration with the U.S. Mint. And of course, the U.S. Mint is not going to have a proof strike to run with it again this year, but it's still an amazing design that at this point the market has clearly said yes, it's going to belong and it needs to be offered every year. And so we really appreciate the opportunity to work with the Mint and offer it to our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any security features on this coin?
You've got the micro dotting, so a lot of what we're trying to incorporate security features across most of our bullion range. But yes, absolutely, the background of the coin, you've got those kind of tincture lines, the micro dots as well. So yes, they absolutely feature throughout the coin.
Yeah, and one thing I was curious about is sort of if you guys learned anything maybe from the 2024 release, obviously how popular it was going to be, but something that continued on into 2025. Obviously, the design is practically identical except for the year, correct?
Yeah, and as this is a bullion range, the mantra really for bullion coins is keep it simple, keep it beautiful, and if it's working, One of the things that we have learned, obviously, as Cole sort of alluded to there, is that we have tightened up the kind of production run just to keep it really special, as unique as possible. And we're just delighted to bring it back for its second year, and it shows no sign of kind of losing any momentum in the market. People are just really excited about this year's launch.
Yeah, when you have something that's as good as what the first effort was, you don't mess with it. It's very difficult to be able to strike gold twice, for lack of a better term. And so it's already an amazing design with the collaboration of the two chief engravers. So you just rinse and repeat and focus on channel sales.
Yeah, I think it's very similar. We're almost beginning to consider this as one of our core products, the Britannia, which is the kind of iconic bullion Britannia coin from the Royal Mint. That's the same every year with a different date on it, and it's recognized globally. And this has every chance, the Britannia Liberty coin of being that as well for the Royal Mint.
Wow, these are really cool. In fact, did we mention? Yeah, can we talk about the giveaway now?
Please,
just
let's
let
do it.
people
Let's
know,
do it.
because we usually tell them ahead. We're going to give away one of these 2025 coins, right, Cole?
More than one.
There it is.
What did you
We're
say?
giving away
Giveaway.
I can't resist. I always get a little bit of blowback internally, but it's one of those where whenever you guys are kind enough to invite me on, I say, fine, we're going to have a good giveaway and treat the people.
Oh, he is so nice. On SilverPros, thank you so much for doing that, Cole. Actually, we better tell people how to enter, right? So
Yeah. How do they do it?
It's quite simple. All you got to do is be a subscriber and put something in the chat there. And I am now starting to capture all the participants in the chat from this point to the end. We'll do the giveaway at the end, and you don't need to slam the chat. Just put something in there. I'll capture you in there, and we'll put your name on the wheel of names and spin it for, well, actually, should we do, we'll do 2 spins, right? 2 winners?
2 spins.
Two spins, 2 winners.
Multiple winners.
For the 2025 Britannia and Liberty. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention real quick that on SD Bullion's website, they still have the 2024 offering. So if you want to collect one from every year, you can do that, right, Cole?
That's correct. We found a box. It was offered to us not that long ago. So we were like, absolutely, let's take it. In this market especially, which we can kind of get to the market as a whole, the secondary market has really, really changed in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there is an opportunity to get into the 2024s. And then on the 2025s, look, our plan is to be aggressive and get it out there with the people that are consuming this and interacting with our brand in general, and offer them as best we can pricing right up front. And then that's going to go on for a period of maybe a couple of days. And then we're going to probably raise that up a little bit and probably have it sold out.
Introductory pricing.
Whenever we can.
Yeah, I'm showing that right now. When did this hit?
Wow.
Cole, did this just hit?
Yeah, the shipment actually hit.
Oh my Lord.
I was told yesterday or today, and so the team has been busy preparing everything. You don't have to do a whole lot of QC on things like this, which is great. And getting ready. And we just took it live maybe a couple hours ago. So based off of data that I probably, against my better judgment, shouldn't disclose, sales have been, since we took it live a couple hours ago, very, very strong. So I don't anticipate this really lasting very long, especially with the mintage being reduced to 50,000 coins. I mean, take something that is connected with the U.S. Mint. What U.S. Mint silver bullion strike has a mintage of 50,000? Nothing. So it's really a unique opportunity, and we're excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
It should be. That's fantastic. All right. Any other future plans that we should be looking forward to for this design, or anything coming up that you haven't told us about, or anything around what you're doing there with the Royal Mint?
We have more coming out with our friends across the pond in the coming weeks, which I'm sure you guys will be hearing about. It'll be familiar. I'll just put it that way. And in terms of this, look, our focus has been execution. We want to be able to, we don't have a graded product up yet. Again, it just hit us. That's not for everyone. Grading isn't for everyone. But if you have a U.S. connection, there is a really, really robust, the strongest graded market in the world is for U.S. coins, certified U.S. coins. So you have to be able to do that. And so we've taken the time and worked with the Royal Mint team to set ourselves up to have something there to offer people. And that's coming within a week, right? And then in lieu of that, if people are interested in getting a sealed tube unopened, we have the new within the last couple months, mint certified first 30 with NGC. So NGC, as a third party, verifies that they will allow for a first 30 designation of coins that are submitted to them for grading, that they bought from us, that are clearly packaged by us, that were set aside within the first 30 days. So what does that mean to a customer? You guarantee that you get an unopened, untouched tube, and you can, in the event that you want to, send those off to NGC to get graded, and they will give it a first 30 designation, which is a premium designation. And those coins are already verified for that.
There you go. And I bet a lot of them are going to be 70s. You
Well,
guys
I
just
bet.
do such a great job at the Royal Mint. So
That's fantastic. I love it. And I think what I'll do, Dragons, is let people know I'm going to open up the Q&A real soon. So if you have questions, and I did see some in the chat, you're going to have your opportunity to ask both Andrew and Cole and us any questions you'd like. But before we go there, is there anything else before we move on? I have some questions. Especially, I mean, we've got the Royal Mint here, Dragons. We can talk about a lot of stuff when it comes to England. I mean, I'd be very interested to ask some questions. Do you have any?
No. Obviously, Cole, anything to add on this before we move on to the Q&A, or?
No. Happy to keep it moving. Appreciate the opportunity to debut this to our people.
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Yankee. Why don't you ask this first one here? I mean,
this has been on my mind a lot, right? The Bank of England. What is going on? And maybe we can ask Andrew, what knowledge or involvement?
I was wondering when the Bank of England might come up on this.
Yeah, it's on my notes. I wasn't going to miss this.
That's the only reason we have you here.
Can I just say that it does feel remarkably appropriate that we are launching this coin with SD Bullion tonight, on the same day, obviously, that Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, has been over meeting Donald Trump, I think for the first sort of formal time as well. So I don't know how the meeting's gone. I don't know how the press conference has gone, but I'm hoping they're getting along brilliantly, just to help usher along the Britannia Liberty coin as well, the launch. So there you go.
Purely coincidental.
Yeah, purely coincidental. We didn't plan it at all.
So what knowledge or involvement does the Royal Mint have with the Bank of England, and what do you make of the stories of all those bars being exported over here to the States in massive quantities?
Yeah, so the first thing to say, there are similarities between the Royal Mint and the Bank of England. We're both government owned. We're both government institutions, but we act completely independently. So we are not affiliated or connected with the Bank of England whatsoever. Completely separate institutions. We do, though, obviously have contacts with the Bank of England, and we regularly kind of engage with them at various different public sector meetings, things like that. And we're in constant kind of contact with them. So obviously there's a lot of discourse about the flows from London over to the US. Lots of reasons for that. Predominantly, obviously, the fear of tariffs going up between the US and the UK and Europe and wider. So there's a lot of metal movement into the US, just trying to hedge against any risk of tariffs coming up. And then obviously you've got the COMEX traders that seem to be willing at the moment to be paying much higher premiums to actually get physical gold into the country to back up the transactions, because they're kind of assuming that those higher premiums will actually be lower in cost than any subsequent tariffs that might come along. So because of that, the Bank of England is trying to supply and satisfy that additional demand of gold flowing into the US. So we did actually reach out to the Bank of England, and we contacted their press team. I have got a statement from the Deputy Governor of the bank, Dave Ramsden. I don't know if you want me to read out his kind of position on what's going on at the moment with those gold flows from London into the US. Would that be helpful if I read that out?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this is the Deputy Governor, Dave Ramsden of the Bank of England, saying, the first thing to say is that we have the second largest stock of gold in the world, over 400,000 bars of gold at the moment. That's gone down a bit since the end of 2024, reflecting the market conditions that you're talking about and have been featured in the news. But the stock has gone down by only about 2% since the end of 2024. So it's important to keep that in perspective. The US gold market has been trading at a premium to the London market, and commercial gold holders have been looking to take advantage of that price differential. So there's been strong demand for delivery slots. We can meet that demand. Our main counterparties, or better to say all of those bodies who ship the gold, have got the delivery slots they need over the next few weeks. If you were coming in new to us, you might have to wait a bit longer because all the existing slots are booked up. But this is a very orderly process. It's worth stressing compared to some of the markets we usually talk about, but gold is a physical asset, so there are real logistical constraints and, of course, security constraints. These things sometimes get forgotten about in a headline that says there's a 6-week delay or something like that. There is a lot of demand, but we've got slots for all the people who currently want to get their gold or want to ship gold on behalf of a customer, and we're managing it. So he's effectively pointing to the pure logistical complications of shipping that amount of physical high value product from one country over to the other, because these bars are in some cases having to be melted down and reconstituted into more convenient transportation forms. They have to actually physically pull them out of the vaults which sit in underground locations in central London, get onto the air carriers, and then transported over to the US.
First,
so
it's got to get on lorries. It's got to get on lorries, I heard, right?
Yeah.
Those heavy bars.
Yeah.
So basically, nothing to see here. All is good. Plenty of gold. Just be patient.
Yeah. The LBMA reported that at the end of January, the gold reserves, and it sort of coincides with what Dave Ramsden's saying here, was down about 2% at the end of January in total from what it was back in October. It's settling now at around about pre-COVID levels. So there is a kind of historical precedent for the sort of levels that are still remaining in London. We're sort of settling back to pre-COVID levels.
Yeah, so essentially there's been some arbitrage, gold moving from across the pond over here, and this is maybe not necessarily the whole reason, but a bit of the reason that there's sort of this delay, right? Because we see in the news, oh, there's like a 4 to 8 week delay getting gold out of the Bank of England, and this is just one of the reasons for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some sympathy for the Bank of England because it's a supply chain logistical nightmare, and it's probably very similar to what most of the industry, the Royal Mint included, experienced during COVID. You know, demand heightened. You've got to really leverage your entire supply chain to make sure that you are keeping up with that additional demand, which just puts strains across the whole system, basically.
There it is. Well, we got to get to like the regular Q&A. Don't we got to get some questions from the chat here? We got, we're almost halfway through the stream.
Oh my word, it happened so fast. All right, so let me add in a Q&A section. Ask your questions here.
Yeah, and that was really great to hear, from the Bank of England. Thank you for reading that, Andrew. And it's just great to be able to provide that here to everyone watching. Thank you all for being here, watching live. This is we're having a great show.
I also want to say there's a few super chatters out there that have really blessed us tonight. Frank G, thank you for the $2. All Americans should buy silver and gold. Love that. Eric, thank you so much for your words there. Frank, super chat $2. Thanks, brother. We Tiger Stacker super chat at $5. He has a question, I think. I love you, Brits. I ordered a tube. Thank you, SD Bullion. Either you have room in your companies to hire a tiger. He wants to go work for you. But thanks for the $5, Tiger. If you do have a question, you can get to the front of the line if you do put a super chat in there. I'll tell you that. But we do have questions coming in on the Q&A section. Oh, right off the bat. Are you ready for this, Cole? Will the Commander Series have a display or stand? Oh, it was actually different.
Oh, wow.
It's a great question.
Wow.
That was one of the main focal points going into. So every year in Berlin, there's the World Money Fair. It basically the 1st of February, roughly. And so going to that was one of the main things that I wanted to make sure I spent a little bit of time looking for a solution on. And so, yes, that is something that we're working on.
Nice.
Packaging is worthwhile. It sometimes takes a little bit extra time, and we are so excited to bring the product to market that at times we don't take a step back and look the 3-year horizon and say what packaging solution is appropriate now, and let's bring that to them now. But we're learning, and yes, there will be a packaging solution. Right now, our focus has been on the posters, executing on that, and then continuing just to build the demand overall and grow the awareness of the program. Yeah.
And let's just get the other commander question out of the way.
We got to just ask,
Dan,
who is
when
it?
is the next?
When's it coming out?
Yeah, Dan wants to know. When is
Everyone
it?
tell us who it is.
What is it and when, right?
We're going to have to see a lot more super chats from me to get interested in answering that type of question.
Come on.
Oh, wow.
When will be that is sooner than later. I mean, sooner than later, and by sooner, not 3 months, probably within 6 weeks. And
my gosh.
I won't tell you.
Will you tell us what continent or what hemisphere at least?
Interesting. We did this last time. Interesting. I think it'll be of high interest to the audience. How about that?
Can I
I didn't realize this show took the form of an interragation.
I know, right? We tease them about
these
this all the time.
commenters, they know what they want, Andrew. They go straight to it.
Right.
It's relentless. It's great.
Can I ask one here, Yankee? So I see it in the regular chat here from Don P, but I know every person is thinking it. Cole, do you really believe there is gold in Fort Knox? And are we ever going to find out the answer? What do you think?
It's a great question. I think we are going to find out the answer sooner than later. Watching headlines, I don't think that President Trump is bluffing whenever he says that he's going to go there and they're going to look. Elon obviously is going to be involved in that. Our market analyst, who's phenomenal, has been doing this forever, James Anderson, does a weekly video that he puts out every Friday where he speaks to this in quite a bit of depth. It's about 35-minute video. I always learn something. I do this for a living, but yet I go out of my way to consume his content. And so he speaks to that in great depth. There's arguments that there's going to be actually more than you would expect. There's arguments that it's going to be less, quite a bit less, and that the purity and hallmarks are not going to be necessarily what the expectations are. I lean towards that being a higher probability. I am confident there is gold there. I'm not 100% confident it's going to be necessarily in the form, the hallmark, the purity, everything that maybe the balance sheet would right now indicate.
There's been no formal audit of Fort Knox since 1953, so we're about due one, I would think.
Yeah,
Totally.
look,
And not just
it feels
the
like a
show
shot at
audit.
me, but it's not.
And not just the show audit like did in the 70s. You can't just
come
walk
on,
in,
give
look
us a
around,
real
take pictures.
audit.
Yeah. So it's going to be gold has been more than in the headlines. And we've seen that just by monitoring market activity and customer activity. It's definitely been a gold bull run over the last 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and that's healthy. And Andrew, I don't know if you want to speak to it. Apparently, some of the European segments have been just incredibly hot in terms of demand.
Oh yeah, I would say that the two areas that are really driving our business at the moment is the UK retail bullion market, and then in particular Eastern Europe. Now, Eastern Europe's a pretty simple one. Obviously, there are very obvious geopolitical reasons why. Actually, one of our biggest new territories is Poland. Just the nation of Poland. It's driving a huge amount of demand for us at the moment. And then the UK retail market, that's largely down, obviously, to geopolitical concerns and just general instability, but also recent changes on capital gains tax thresholds from the relatively new government here in the UK. And obviously, bullion coins are classed as legal tender here in the UK, so they are capital gains tax exempt, which is driving a lot of demand here in this country.
Wow. Are they more interested in silver or gold?
The UK predominantly, I would say, is more culturally kind of aligned with gold, but we are seeing a real significant rise in interest in silver, and I think a lot of that is because silver is more accessible and more affordable, just because of where the gold price is at the moment. We're doing really well on gold fractionals, and then there is a particular interest from the millennial and Gen Z kind of audiences for silver, which is really exciting and speaks of a great future ahead, really, for the entire industry.
Like that. Wow. All right. This question goes to Andrew. How have sales for the George Orwell coin been going?
So this is our proof celebration of George Orwell. Beautiful design. The iconic eye from the 1984 novel, Big Brother is Watching You. One of my favorite designs of the Royal Mint from the last sort of 12 months. Absolutely beautiful coin, and delighted to say it's a complete sellout. Beautiful proof numismatic coin, which admittedly is not my area of expertise. We have a separate kind of business, the commemorative coin business, which runs our proof programs. But I know it was a huge success, particularly in the UK and in the US, where that book is really, really well known and loved.
Frank G. Super Chat at $2. This may be for you, Cole. Mint State 69 Eagles. I'm assuming silver. Sell or hold or open?
Open.
Well, if he has it in Mint State 69, he's already probably paid for Mint State 69. Therefore, I definitely wouldn't open. Sorry to disagree with you right off the top, Mr. Dragons, but
Touch the
now,
silver.
if he happened upon it, well, then that's a little bit different. But personally, I like the idea of having some. Same with anything else, premium products, right? It's not for the bulk of any stack. For me, it's not. For some people that really know what they're doing or really have a strong, very dedicated, honed-in interest, great, do whatever you want. But some graded and some quasi-premium stuff gives you a little bit of an opportunity to have something that is not just all eggs in one basket, so to speak. So the graded market is really good because it significantly enhances your resale value. We do a ton of buybacks pretty constantly. If it's in a protective slab, well, at a minimum, you could go get that re-slabbed, and it's still going to be worth the same amount as anything else. So, or it was before, right? If there's like a scratch or a crack in the slab, but the coin is protected. So I know grading isn't for everyone, but it does serve a useful case in the Britannia Liberty. Whenever we're doing the mint certified, look, we're selling coins that can get first 30 eligibility. We're selling them right now for less than $5 an ounce. That's a pretty unique opportunity.
Yeah,
that won't last very long.
Let me bring that up real quick here. There's on the screen, I think the 2025 1 ounce British Silver Britannia Liberty NGC and ST Bullion mint certified first 30. Cool. Check that out.
Yeah. So the difference between normal tubed product and that is that normal tube product, you could send that to a grading service and they would say, great, it's 20 or 25, depending on what you bought. Individual coins. There is no special designation. This allows you to have the coins slabbed in first 30 designated holders, which again is a premium opportunity for no cost.
And how many come in a tube? Can we get that out there too?
Yeah, 25 silver coins come in a tube and 10 gold coins come in a tube.
Very nice.
There you go.
Looks like Check Stacker's really trying to pressure you. He dropped the 10th spot. When will the next Commander Series release? Who will it be? Bump the super chats. Pressure Cole. Is there a super chat limit that you would have to just crack?
That's a good question. You guys are the one kind of controlling that.
I wonder.
Whenever I said it's going to be of high interest to our audience, what I anticipate our audience is, I kind of go back to that. I don't think it's going to be something that people have to Google.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's nice. So there's a little tip. Thank you, Tiger, for your 5 spot, too. Don wanted to know if Fort Knox is borrowing gold from you. I think that might be from Andrew. Andrew, are they borrowing gold from you?
No, they definitely do not need to be borrowing any gold from the Royal Mint. They've got plenty.
So you don't have
without the audit. I think they'll be okay.
So I think it's the SD Bullion CEO. Chase, he asks a question: does the Royal Mint have any gold in Fort Knox?
Wow.
No, we don't.
Fair
No.
question.
But, I mean, obviously, the Fort Knox is a part of the US Mint, but no, we don't have any gold in Fort Knox. No.
All right. So if it is, pledged to someone else, it's not the Royal Mint. We got that out of the way.
Yeah, that's official. Breaking news.
All right.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. Yes, tonight's draw is for American residents. Yep. SD Bullion ships internationally, but our giveaways are for U.S. mailing addresses only. Ron Pierce, how long do you think it would take for the worldwide markets to crash if they do an audit, maybe a real audit of Fort Knox, and find out something is missing, shenanigans going on? What would happen?
Yeah, I'll try to field that. Same tenor of a question in terms of what would happen if the tariffs really go into place, which is there would be an immediate revaluation of both metals or anything that is subject to the tariff. But for gold and silver, almost immediately, gold would go up 25% for a physically delivered unit. Silver would do the same thing, probably more. Would that impact demand? Probably. Everyone that's watching this has been following gold and silver prices. Maybe they would say that's too high for me, but we've seen the mania that it can occur with these types of market events, black swan events, if you will. And so how long would it take? It wouldn't take very long. It always feels like this industry has a ton of material and a ton of gold and a ton of silver. And in some ways that's true, but there's a reason that people look at how many units effectively are traded via futures and how many physical units or ounces are mined and produced annually. It's a massive number. It's way outsized. So there can be and will continue to be things that really shake the foundation of how that two-way trade is operated and conducted. And once that does break out, which we've been close with both metals, frankly, once that does break out, there's really nothing stopping it.
Oh man, sky's the limit. We have a question. Looks like for Andrew. How have the proposed tariffs affected your business, or have they?
Yeah, so the demand for gold is increasing because of the general uncertainty and fear around the imposition of tariffs. General investors are concerned about what that will mean for international trade, and therefore they're hedging against that instability by moving into precious metals. So that's one element. We are seeing an upswing in demand, as I said earlier, particularly in the UK and in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. But then obviously, because of the logistical increase in costs of actually moving the metal into the United States ahead of any potential tariffs that may come in, the general cost of moving the metal is increasing the leasing rates of funding the general bullion industry. So for most of the businesses that are in the bullion industry, just like the mints, the refiners, jewelers, wholesalers who lease their metal, they are seeing the general cost of the working stock that they use to move through the business is increasing. Now, it's nothing that we haven't, dealt with before. The Royal Mint's been around for 1,000 years. This is just another interesting kind of footnote in a fascinating industry. We managed to get through COVID. We're monitoring this situation carefully, but there's no doubt that the general cost base for the entire industry is rising with the interest rates. But we have noticed in the last few days that they are starting to settle. They are starting to trickle back down, which might be a sign that the situation is becoming a bit more normalized. So everybody in the industry is just watching and monitoring closely.
Yeah, and the other thing to comment on there is the refining capacity has been completely dominated and occupied for an extended amount of time. And so how the industry usually operates, say it happens to be slow and you're not really seeing a lot of demand for sales or for whatever goods you have, gold and silver. Well, if you can't sell it and you need to do things to turn cash to continue operating your business, generally speaking, your first option then is to go melt it and take a discount and just get cash for that, right? Well, the refineries have been so occupied servicing all the gold coming over from London to the States that there's no capacity. You could pick up the phone and call and try to do something, or we could. Anyone that operates in the market could, unless you've already planned for that contingency for months in advance, which very few do, and you have very little incentive to usually. You're really stuck. So what does that really do? It creates a massive kink in the overall supply chain. And so what finally happened like a month or two ago is a lot of gold was eventually melted. Gold coins, right? Coins that everyone would know. Well, that took the balloon of secondary market supply in both gold and silver, but predominantly gold, and really reduced that quite a bit over the span of a couple of weeks. And then you have a continued elevated concern on tariff conversations and auditing Fort Knox, which is a thing that people are really interested in. And then all of a sudden they want to buy the cheap stuff, which is fine. It's understandable, but it's just gone. Premiums on gold eagles on a major bank wholesale market have gone up more than 6x in a week. So that tells you kind of the velocity of what we're working with. It's a massive move, and it kind of goes to what I said earlier, which is there's a lot of metal until there's not.
Yeah. Yankee, go ahead. I see a bunch more questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say for Cranky Stacker super chat at $5. So I got to give him the first dibs here. Does anyone see a gold revaluation in the near future, and to what amount?
You think we'll see that?
Are you guys doing that in the UK, Andrew?
No.
No, I know it's been talked about. I think that the first catalyst there would be Trump has been very vocal about crypto as well as gold, which is an anomaly. He very rarely does something like that without probably a little bit more of an evolved plan, right? So we'll see what that is. Revaluation, sure.
We have a question here. Someone in the chat asks, I've ordered direct from both SD Bullion and the Royal Mint. How and why is the Mint able to ship to the public when no other Mint will? That's interesting. No other Mint will ship direct to the public?
Maybe they mean the U.S. Mint won't.
That's generally speaking not quite correct.
Not quite correct.
Yeah, I know of other mints that will ship direct to end customers, just like the Royal Mint will.
Mm-hmm.
And as Silver was saying, the U.S. Mint I don't believe does, but others do.
Yeah. So we know that the U.S. Mint has the limited dealer distribution. The Royal Mint doesn't have anything like that, correct?
No, we operate in both markets. So we operate in the wholesale and distributor market, which is obviously where our fantastic partnership with SD comes from. In the UK, we operate a retail website, which predominantly is 95% orientated to UK retail investors, but occasionally we will get customers in international markets visiting the UK website and ordering coins and bars through the Royal Mint website that's based in the UK.
There you go.
I got a fun one from Silver Lumberjack, and this is for you. He wanted to know what, I'll say football team do you guys support? What do you support? And by football, I mean soccer.
Are we talking soccer or are we talking...
We're talking soccer. Yeah. We're talking soccer.
Well, I'm broadcasting here from the greatest city in the world, Bristol, in the United Kingdom. So I am a Bristol City football fan. We are languishing below the Premier League. We're not even in the Premier League, but the stadium is a 10-minute walk from my front door. And as I've said to Cole and to Chase on many an occasion, when they come and visit me, I'm going to be taking them to one of the games. Because it's just on the doorstep here in Bristol.
Very cool.
There it is. Hey, one other fun question I saw. Maybe this one would be for Cole, because you've dealt with a lot of bullion. When me and Yankee went down to the SD Bullion vaults, we saw the 1,000-ounce silver bars and all the fun stuff there. But how long do you think it would take to actually accurately evaluate Fort Knox, the gold there? If they're counting it, weighing it, verifying it, like to go through all of it? Do you think that would take like months, or how long? I mean, 147 million ounces.
That's how much they're claiming is there, 147 million ounces of gold.
Yeah, I think they're in the 400-ounce bars though. So.
Right. Not counting, New York or West Point.
It would take months.
It would take months because, again, you're going to test it. What are you going to do? You're going to have to assay it and get in line. the U.S. Mint does not operate an assaying service. So they're going to have to contract that out. Then you're looking at purity, weight stamps requirements, counts, right? The count stuff becomes kind of easy. But it would take, that's not a real audit, just counting it. So it would truly take months, and that's with quite a bit of boots on the ground labor.
I think the other thing to point out is that not all of the US gold reserves are held in Fort Knox. It's only about 55% of what the US holds. So if they're going to go into Fort Knox, where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got to go to the Fed vaults in New York too. They got to do that. I mean, why not?
They got to go into the tunnels and figure out what's going on, right? That was a great video of yours.
I can't say enough. Can go subscribe to our SD Bullion YouTube page and look at what James Anderson puts out on a weekly basis. Always very educational, and he has some pretty well-founded opinions on the topic. So I don't want to try to dishonor him by repeating it, right? But he knows his stuff.
So the U.S. government, we value our gold $42.22, repeating whatever formally. How is gold valued in the UK, Andrew? Is it just supply and demand, or is there some other fixed?
Yeah, well, we value it as per the market rate. I couldn't tell you how the British government does it, I'm afraid, Yankee. But
the Bank of England gold
is concerned, what we hold in our vault is all based on the LBMA value of gold at the spot.
Yeah, and the gold in the Bank of England isn't owned by the Bank of England; they're a custodian of it.
Yeah. I've actually been fortunate to visit the Bank of England's vaults once. And they have different countries' gold just stored all the way down the corridors. It's quite incredible.
Pretty intense security to get in there, huh?
Oh, wow.
We went down and down and down and down underground in London. Yes, it was incredible.
The big challenge for us is not just assaying it and counting it and weighing it. It's knowing how it's being leveraged. Is it being lent out? How many claims are on those bars? And we really need to. That's the other piece. We need to take the paperwork and verify everything. That would take a long time too.
Yeah, and there was I'm not 100% sure. Again, James talks about this, but I believe there was quite a bit of gold that at the end of perhaps World War I, I could be off, that we sent over to Europe, and so that's one of the really motivating forces, maybe in World War II, for an audit is I just what's left. I don't know.
Yep.
We spent it all, Carl.
Yeah, what did you do?
You went down to the pub?
Left. Nothing to see here.
All right. How about a few more questions here? We do have that giveaway coming up. Make sure you put something in the chat. I am capturing those participant names. How does the Mint manage the secondary market, Andrew?
We've got obviously the secondary market has just exploded in recent months, and probably the last couple of years. We've got a really healthy buyback market in the UK in particular. So we offer to buy back bullion coins and bars from UK investors, and we either flip that and sell it as best value bullion, or we obviously send it off to be refined either at the Royal Mint or external partners, and then we produce that back into new bullion products effectively. We also buy back from the wholesale market as well, and we run a really successful historical coin business as well that offers to value and basically take ownership of customers' coins, and then we auction those on behalf of our customers. So it's a really, really healthy secondary market for the Royal Mint.
And actually, one other question here, probably for you, Andrew. So like in the U.S., the U.S. Mint sources, the gold and silver, I believe they have to, from U.S. mines. Does the Royal Mint have to source its silver and gold from the UK or the EU or something like that, or from anywhere?
We subscribe to the LBMA's Good Delivery program, so we work through the LBMA Good Delivery approved refiners and suppliers, basically. So yeah, we have a really, really fantastic procurement team at the Royal Mint that kind of conducts field audits, desk-based research as well, but it's predominantly through that LBMA Good Delivery program.
Oh, the Hoff has a question here. He says, "What is Andrew's favorite coin from the past?"
Oh goodness me! Well, I like to keep it so. First of all, I'm really into bars. I love my
Oh,
I love the bar. So the Britannia bar range that we produced a couple of years ago, which is now becoming just as iconic as the Britannia coin.
hmm.
I absolutely, and this will speak volumes to the partnership with SD as well. The Una and the Lion original
Yes.
kind of Royal Mint coin that then inspired the Una and the Lion bar series is just absolutely beautiful. I think I have to shout out for the Queen's Beast Completer coin. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most beautiful bullion coins we've ever produced. But you know, I could go on, and we've got the real exciting thing, and some of these will be with SD. We've got some really exciting stuff coming up over the next sort of 12 to 18 months as well, which I'm very excited about. Some great themes.
Yeah, my favorite from the recent past was the Queen's Beast, the Red Dragon of Wales. Oh man, such a good one.
Why am I not surprised?
I wish you guys did a rose gold version of it. You know, they don't do
Ooh.
that here at the U.S. Mint, but you guys do that at the Royal Mint.
Well, yeah, we do the rose gold sovereign, but interestingly, this year, I say is the last year that the Royal Mint will be producing a rose gold sovereign. One of the most exciting things coming up in the next few months, and I know that the sovereign is probably less popular in the United States, but across the rest of the world, the sovereign is still considered one of the chief coins of the world. We are moving back, I should say, to a yellow gold sovereign, and that's largely due to investor sentiment. Really, the sovereign is really iconic in parts of Europe like Greece. It's hugely popular in the Middle East and in India in particular. And there's been a lot of demand for the Royal Mint to move back to a kind of yellow looking sovereign. So yes, this was the last year that we'll be producing that rose gold sovereign silver.
I want to thank Tiger Stacker for his $5 super chat. He's giving me a hard time being rigged, as he always does. Thank you. And Frank G super chat $2. He wants to know how much gold we have in America. Thank you for both your super chats. I have one last question here from a Butado, probably for Cole, but actually for either of you. When I make a purchase through wire transfer, is it private or is it traceable or trackable like a debit credit card purchase? How confident?
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty narrow question, but yeah, all of our transactions are completely private. I'll just put it like
Beautiful. I like that. All right. Man, we got 8 minutes left. Do you have a couple more questions time?
You know, one funny one that I saw was,
Okay, what?
does SD Bullion, if someone wanted to be paid in silver, is that something you
Oh,
guys would
wow.
do?
Come on.
like an employee.
Yeah, has anyone ever asked?
I would say there are creative mechanisms to offer compensation. I don't want to speak to any specific arrangement, but yeah, I mean, it becomes a headache, right, for HR or accounting or anything like that. But
they can deal with it.
yeah, but yeah, we're everyone. We don't hide from the fact that we're believers in the metal itself, and so we have it. And just today, an employee, I'm not going to say who, obviously for privacy, made a personal significant purchase of gold and silver, right? So
There you go.
A different Cole says, how will U.S. acquisition of Ukrainian minerals affect the metals markets? Actually, rare earth metals and minerals is what's the deal, I guess, maybe going down tomorrow, Friday. So would there be any impact, guys, do you think, in the metals markets because of that?
I personally don't believe so, but it just speaks to the geopolitical kind of situation that we're in at the moment. Obviously, we know that China is very strong in rare earth minerals, and this is obviously a really interesting move by the Trump administration to kind of join and keep up in that kind of race for mineral control. Really, it's really fascinating how it's all playing out at the moment.
yeah, there is a clear preference for hard assets, so that bodes well for both gold and silver, as well as clearly there's an interest, and you'd be hard pressed to convince me that wasn't one of the objectives all along. Whenever Trump first took office, when trying to resolve the Russia-Ukraine conflict, to find an opportunity to bring some of those minerals over and help our domestic production of things that we desperately need those minerals for.
All right, I just closed the Q&A because it's time for me to start worrying about getting this wheel of names filled out for the 2 giveaways that we're going to be doing. If there's any other questions, though, you see in the regular chat, Dragons, you can help me out.
Well,
Anything else there,
we did
I'm
ask
working on it.
Andrew. We asked Andrew his favorite coin. Maybe we can move it over to Cole. Do you have a favorite from the Royal Mint? I mentioned I like the dragon, of course, but do you have one?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the Britannia is really, really strong. Andrew hit on the Una and the Lion. Once I started to learn the story of Una and the Lion and what it really meant to the brand and the entire story of the history of England, it's kind of hard for me to look really past that. I will say he spoke a little bit to their collectible team in the effort they go to really archive and invest in maintaining records and everything. They have a museum over there that we spent some time in. I'm not necessarily a museum guy. I could have spent 4 days in there because they have things from, of course, the UK, but then all other countries, all these different war medals and things like that you can just get lost in. And there's rows upon rows upon rows, and each row has a tower of about 6 foot tall of a sliding shelf unit, and each shelf is pretty slim. It's maybe an inch thick, that has between 8 and 12 unique collectible pieces in there. So they have so much tradition to kind of draw from. It's part of what makes their coin program so compelling anyway for the modern investor. Of course, I'm partial to this one because of the U.S. connection, and I like Una quite a bit.
All
There
right.
it is.
Cool. All right, let's switch over to the wheel of names. I'm getting ready to put them in.
So it's 2 spins, and
Yeah.
each winner is going to receive one of the new 2025 1-ounce silver Liberty and Britannia, right?
That is absolutely correct. They're the names. All right.
All right.
So let's shuffle this up really well.
Best of luck,
And
everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
And if you don't win one, you can get them over at SD Bullion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's on the homepage. We just put the banner up. So, really excited about this one.
Yeah, look, really, like, you could stack them. Like, the price they're at, the introductory pricing, you totally could go tubes of these.
Absolutely. That's definitely the vision.
Dan Hodge.
Get people in, get them buying.
Silica Wicked Films. It looks like Cult Leader's going to pull it off. Cult Leader. Congratulations, Cult. Email me your mailing address as well as your phone number, and I'll get that over to SD Bullion, and they'll fulfill the order directly from there. And let's remove Cult Leader. Let's shuffle it up a little bit more again.
Best of luck, everyone.
And final spin coming up.
Oh, man,
While we're spinning,
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to special shout out, and thank you to Andrew for joining. I know that this isn't something that he wants to do necessarily at this time of night, but it's a compliment to your audience, and so thanks for joining.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Ronald Tharp, Dan Lechner. Can Dan hold on to it, or is Rich Mart going to steal it? Rich
I
Mart.
love that name.
I know, right?
Rich Mart.
Rich Mart. 1955. You won the other one. Congratulations. Email me your mailing address and phone number at YankeeStacking@gmail.com. All right, guys. Yes, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Any final words before we wrap it up from either of you?
Only that I'm hoping this now, for my second appearance, this makes me a friend of the show status. I don't know how many times I have to be on until I get to that level, Yankee, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
You are absolutely a Silver Pro, and we are honored to have you anytime. So thank you. And you too, Cole. You too, Cole. We'll have you on again.
I'm just happy to be a part of it. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys, and thanks again, Andrew.
Yes, and great coin. Well done. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we have to say thanks to everyone for joining us on this Thursday night. And of course, we do these every other week usually. And we flip-flop between the Yankee Stacking channel that we know and love and Silver Dragons as well. So you'll catch it on mine next time in a couple of weeks. And with that, how do we end it, Yankee?
Oh, man, we're looking forward to seeing you next time on Silver Pros.
Stack like a pro.
Good night, everyone.